Welcome back, investors, to the Investing with Our YouTube channel for another video. If you're new to the channel, I am a UK-based investor focusing mainly on US stocks, and I started the portfolio I will be showing you today in April 2021. I am fortunate enough to have gone past the golden milestone having a 100k portfolio, and I'll be showing you the ups and possibly more importantly the downs of my investing journey. This includes the buys, the sales, and the dividend income I receive. So if you're a returning viewer, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you can follow my journey. Now, let's get into it. So today we're going to be looking at the last week of July, and it's been my best week ever. Not in terms of percentage gains, but the overall pound amount. So we are up just over £2,200 for the week for a 1.9% return. So we finished last week off at 112,590, and now we're at 114,800 pounds. So it just goes to show what big gains you can make if you start having a big portfolio, and this is the compounding effect showing itself in the portfolio. So really solid week, and one of the main reasons was Google. So Google reported earnings and it was up 4.35% for the week. At its height, it went all the way up to $197, but settling at $193 in the end. This is my biggest position in my portfolio. I own 107 shares at an average cost of 162.47, and we're now at 193. As you can see, I spent a long time with the stock being negative for me, but I knew eventually it would recover, and I firmly believe this is a $200 stock, and it is almost getting there right now, and it will continue to go up in my opinion. Now let's look at the Google earnings. So earnings per share came in at $2.31, beating estimates of $2.18. Revenue 96.4 billion, exceeding forecasts of 94 billion, and it's up 13.8% year over year. Cloud, with AI being so vogue these days, cloud revenue is quite important. That surged 32% to 13.6 billion. Now, this is the biggest thing. Search revenue grew 11.7% to 54.9 billion. And this is one of the reasons why Google is relatively cheap in terms of its size, because people think search is dying or it's going to be replaced by ChatGPT. But as you can see from here, it grew from last year. So this is a really, really important metric. If this didn't happen, then Google's share price would have tanked. But it is going in the right direction, especially with the implementation of Gemini within it as well. So this is really, really good. YouTube, my understanding is it's bigger than Netflix in terms of viewership, up 10% to 8.9 billion. And YouTube Music and Premium reach over 125 million subscribers. So for a free service to have 125 million subscribers that are willing to pay, this is very, very bullish. So on the back of that, net income increased 19% to 28.2 billion. Now, one thing that is actually bullish, capital expenditure, it's earmarked for $85 billion above the $75 billion, which is good because it means there's demand for some of Google's AI functionality. So this is actually quite bullish for the stock, and bullish for two of my other stocks, which are Nvidia and Broadcom, which both went up. And now let's get into Broadcom, which is my third stock, which has gone over the 100% mark. So yeah, really, really happy about that. We knew it was going to happen. It was very, very close last time, and now it's gone past it. So yeah, 100%, which is really, really solid. So a quick shout out to Terry Fat, who's a follower of mine on Trading 212. I post on there and try to interact with my audience and just general investing talk on there. And I was previously known as Investor Stallone on there. I can't change my name to Investing with Al, so I had to keep it, but this is still me there. And Terry Fat said this. He said, "Thank you, Al. I started investing in US stocks, particularly Google, after watching your video. And now my portfolio is really growing. I recently added Nvidia and Broadcom, which are two of my stocks which went over 100%. I hope I am not too late for the party." And Terry, you're not. These companies, with the guidance that the management have given, are going to continue going up. But I just want to say, these are the kind of comments that really make doing these videos very worthwhile, because I get a great satisfaction in helping people start investing or continue investing in this case. And Terry's really doing well because he sent me a snapshot of his portfolio, which looks a bit like this. So as you can see, a lot of green. It's done very well with Rolls-Royce. This is one I missed, but I don't necessarily like to. Valuation is important. What price you get a stock at is crucial in terms of getting good returns. And this Rolls-Royce was just flying, and I thought it's one that just left me, but he's done well from it. And as you can see, he's got a very big position in Google, and it's up, or was up 12%, and would be even more after the earnings. And yeah, he's doing well. So look, this is one of the reasons why I say, please, if you can, like the video so more people can see it and they can maybe too get more interested in continuing investing. So yeah, thank you very much. And if you want to follow my journey, just subscribe and you can see how my portfolio does. Now, the other stock I want to talk about quickly is HIMS. It had a very, very good week. It was up just under 15%. And at one point, I was actually in profit. Now, there's a lot of short activity on this stock. It's one of the most shorted stock in the actual stock market, and it's affecting how well this stock does overall. Every single time it gets to, a reasonable milestone, it's usually $50 or $60 in this case. An article comes out from somewhere pushing the stock price down, but it's artificial. I think it's just being suppressed, and eventually it's going to break out, and I'm still very bullish on this one. And right now, just under break even. I've got about £7,000 in this stock, and yeah, I think this is going to do really, really well in future. So just like Google, which I'm up now over 12%, but I had to wait a while. The same thing with HIMS. I'm gonna have to wait a while, but eventually it's gonna do very well for me. So yeah, just to very quickly, up 12% on Google. Visa and MasterCard both having good, decent weeks, up 14% and 8% respectively. Imperial Brands up 61%. Meta up 21%. HIMS, as just mentioned, just almost break even right now. Microsoft up 30% for a 1.5K gain. Carnival still going strong. So this is my first stock that went over 100%. And as you can see, good strong month, 18%, and up 57% in the last quarter. So one that's performing really, really well. And you don't see it in too many portfolios. Tesla reported mixed earnings this week. And the stock suffered a little bit. As you can see, it went down from about 333, going all the way down to 300 and settling at 317, which is not bad, especially after news that it had some success with FSD in the UK. So this hopefully be quite positive for the share price short to medium term. But the guidance from Elon and Tesla is that there might be some volatility in revenues going forward. So this one sold off a little bit. MicroStrategy up just under 10% as Bitcoin is still doing well. Amazon up 20% for a £756 gain. And now Oscar had a decent week actually, up just under 8% and went as high as $16, settling at $14.42. Another one that's got quite a lot of short activity and analysts trying to downgrade it and push it down. But again, this is another one that will do well going forward. Nvidia up 100%, which occurred last week, and it's still there. So up just over 2.1K. Elgen up 4% for a £137 gain. Broadcom, as I mentioned earlier, the second stock that is over 100%. In fact, it's actually doing better than Nvidia just by 1%. Really, really solid progress from this company. AbbVie up 23% for a £623 gain. Centrica, which had a good week actually, this one, up 6%. And overall up 47%. So for a just under £1,000 gain. Rio Tinto recovering actually this one. So up 4.29% for this week. A new CEO has been appointed, who's due to start in about a month or so. But so this one is actually moving. Normally it's down about 20%. So this is that loss. So that's really good. I'm really happy to see that. Eventually, if and when it gets to break even, I will decide what I want to do with this stock then. Costco up 16% for a £300 gain. Apple actually doing all right, up 8% so far. Usually, for a long time, it's been in the negative or like 1% up, but this is doing okay now. KLA has had a solid 3 months, up just under 10%. ASML, as mentioned last week, guidance for future earnings is, even though it beat both on revenue and earnings per share last week, the guidance wasn't as solid. So this one has been struggling. But again, this one will do well. Just have to wait. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. Quick summary: up 2.2k for the week. Very, very solid. The portfolio at one point did go past 115,000, but settling at just under. And if you look at the overall return, actually, this is another milestone I just hit. I forgot to mention. So going above 25k in gains is actually quite a big milestone, which I forgot to mention, but there it is, up over 25k. And yeah, things are going well. So thank you very much for joining me on this video, and I'll see you on the next one.